So I was also watching Rudy Giuliani's Common Sense program. It's funny how a lot of people hate Rudy Giuliani now. It's like, why? He's awesome. He was an awesome mayor. He was awesome on 9/11. But yet, because he supports Trump and is Trump's personal attorney, people just can't handle it. They have TDS. These crazy liberals are like, ah, like with no proof or anything. The Trump's a racist. Ah. Like, well, it's funny because he's hired the most women and the most minorities than anyone. Kind of a funny way to show that you're a racist. Oh, but he's just doing that because that's what racists would do, so you don't know they're racist. I don't think there's any proof that's what a racist would do. That's just crazy talk. That's having a mental issue yourself that you think that's how that works. Whatever. You're nuts. If you're on my channel and you believe that shit, get off. I don't care. You know, I make the videos for my own enjoyment more than for other people's. I don't care what you think. If you don't like my opinion, get off the channel. I'm okay with that. If you want to leave a like totally disgusting comment, you know, it takes me seconds to blow away a comment. You know, if you're lucky, it might hang out there for a while, for like a day. But then bye-bye, it's gone. And if it's really bad, you know what I do? I not just blow it away, I also block you too, so. Oh, but I can get in with another account. Wow, you're that desperate? Maybe you are. I'm not ever gonna say I've left not a negative comment, maybe a little over the top, but usually it's towards another commenter on a video and not the actual person producing the video. However, Rudy Giuliani's Common Sense series is pretty good. Now, I hate that his intro is like 2 minutes long, so skip that. Thank goodness for YouTube. I don't know if it plays ads because, well, I use ad blocker. You can do that for my channel too. I don't care. But then he has like a long-ass video about Cigar Magazine, which I skipped through that too. Like, I'm not watching that. What is this? But he had a guy on the other day. I'm not going to recall these people's names, but he had a guy on, and you can watch it. You can watch his series on YouTube. Just type in Rudy W Giuliani, and he has a channel. Or you can Google Common Sense Rudy Giuliani, and he has a webpage that you can get to the videos that way. Also. So he has this video. He has this video where he has a guy on, and I guess the guy's a bigwig, knows a lot of people. Was a pharmacist at one point, ran a family pharmacy, has done a bunch of stuff, got into shipping, I guess. And he was talking about one thing is he knows some of these cruise ship owners, cruise line owners, and they're willing to let the state, the federal government, whoever, call them and talk about making some sort of deal, whether it's a lease or whatever. He's like, you know, that's not between me or them, but I've talked to so-and-so, and he names the name, and he runs blah, blah, blah cruise line, and they have, you know, there's like 200 cruise ships that are out there. Most of them never had an infection, so they're fine. And they're not running right now. But you have these cruise ships that have beds, because they keep going on about a bed shortage in a lot of countries and a lot of places, and possibly in the U.S. once it gets to the peak. You know, we might have a bed shortage here. So, well, here's these cruise ships. So you can put people on these cruise ships. There's already full medical hospital supplies, typically, to run these. Plus, they have kitchens for cooking and blah, blah, blah. It's basically you can convert a cruise without doing any converting into a floating hospital immediately. And the cruise owner is willing to, you know, bring some money in for them and, you know, work some sort of deal that everyone win-wins and there's enough beds. But, yeah, he also was talking about China, and he goes, people I know, if this ever got out there of how this virus got started, because it wasn't just started from eating an animal, it was started by, it's a manufactured virus. I don't know what humans made the virus. It was made in a lab. And this is what he hears from people he knows supposedly high up. So if this is true, I don't know. These people say that it was manufactured in a lab, and that, if it was known where this came from, all hell would break loose. If this was if it was reported by the public or the mainstream media. So hey, maybe there is some truth that it's a manufactured virus, but no one wants to go that route, including our government, at least right now. Because, you're dealing with this. Because it's hit every country. Now, he did say it's not China that created it, but he didn't go and say who. I think he wanted to, and if you watch the video, listen to him, it sounds like he wanted to, but he was kind of taking his time, and Rudy's like, hey, if you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. He's like, no, and he was slowly getting there, but I think after a while you can tell, Rudy's kind of figuring out, this guy really does not want to say. He does want to say, but he doesn't want to say. His heart's probably saying, hey, this information needs out there, and then his brain's probably like, that's probably not wise for me to talk about. So kind of hemming and hawing, trying to get to who did it, but he was slowly getting there. And then kind of the subject got changed, and it got changed to I don't know if he was hinting at Iran. Iran might have had a hand in that, but he mentioned they got the bomb, they got the nuke, they got a nuclear missile, and they're close to using it is what he hears. They might just use it, not towards us, they would use it towards Israel. But that would obviously cause huge issues, would it not? So that is pretty crazy. That's pretty freaky, if any of that's true. All we can do is hope. If that's true, hopefully our government's on top of that and watching them. And the only counteraction for something like that would be us to do the same. And unfortunately, we'd probably have to wait until they did it. So, the liberals wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't believe you used a nuke on a country. No matter how much evidence there is, they would be like, oh, the people, the civilians. Yeah, a lot of people died. A lot of civilians died in World War II with carpet bombing too. But that broke the heart and the will of the Germans and the Japanese. Did it not? Japanese, you don't hear them running around blaming us nowadays, do you? No, you don't. Okay, well, apparently you can get up to Rampart Range Road, and there's people up here, people camping, people driving. That would be horrible if that is true, that Iran has a nuclear missile and is planning to use it. The only way I can think that would even somewhat work strategically would be if Iran, China, and North Korea. Iran launches a nuke at Israel. We have to deal with Iran immediately, which, because they did a nuke, would mean we would probably, launch a nuke back at them, just take out them, plus probably cruise missiles for other areas, take out their capital and then other stuff. Tit for tat, you basically have to. You couldn't let that go. People would still blame Trump. Okay, so you take out Iran. Well, you now have North Korea and China. North Korea decides, hey, or is working with Iran, because they all seem to work together, to then hit South Korea with all their artillery. South Korea fucking is wiped out. Basically, there is no soul. There is no South Korea. It's gone just from artillery barrage. A lot of people die, blah, blah, blah. Well, China, what would China do? I think China, to test the waters, would probably take back Taiwan. Take out Taiwan. Because, you know, we're dealing with Iran and North Korea at this point, so would we really use a nuke against... We might use a nuke against North Korea, but would we use a nuke against China? Probably not, because they also have nukes. So that would have a retaliation by them, right? So it'd be no win for either country at that point. So we probably would take out Iran, and I think we would take out North Korea. But damage is already done to South Korea. Which, you know, we have a base there and all that, so the stuff is already done. And then China could quickly take Taiwan. And let's say they do. Well, what else would they maybe do in that general area? Well, you gotta remember, China, they hate Japanese. They hate the Japanese from World War II, because Japanese did a lot of atrocities against their people, and to this day, you know, Japan is evil to them. Very evil. Much more evil than the US or anything. They could possibly, and because it's a base of ours, take out, or at least devastate, Japan. Now, where would this get China? Well, this will get China to occupying, owning basically, that whole area. Which is a lot, I mean, the Vietnam, all that. Vietnam is an up and coming good manufacturer place for the US more and more. Taiwan, and Taiwan is a strategic ally of ours just because of their location. So yeah, there's a lot of places that are there. Now, I don't think, now the miscalculation could be how far, what do they take, how far do they go at what they take, you know? I mean, we also, India, Pakistan, they have nukes. Will China try to take them, because that could be manufacturing for us, and plus they're allies. But being that they're a nuclear power, I don't think so, just because then that opens up, well, they could use a bomb against China, or try to, which then China would use against them, then, which might lead us to be like, we got to do something, so we got to use ours now. You left us no choice in the matter. It's very complicated, because obviously thinking that through, there's so many variables, right? But I think it would, if they weren't greedy, it would get them that whole Asian area, you know? They would occupy and take control of all that land, which also gets us further away from them. Maybe they take some of the islands too, kind of like Japan did, because those might be easy for them to take. But China doesn't have the biggest navy. I mean, they've been trying to change that, but they don't have the biggest navy. You know, we kind of created the beast in a way. We made China. If we weren't buying all these manufacturing goods, if we weren't taking our intellectual property there to get produced, China would be nothing. They'd be rice farmers still.